directly to the source for talking to the first person, which is how a lot of history is written.
Well, it's definitely going to have the community touch. Because we're doing it the right way.
Surprise.
There's a skinnier black male than the man with the beard that I think is George. He's like around her, like it's almost like he has his arms on his hands on her shoulders.
He's so scared. I like the mix between the history and the investigation, because you can kind of see what the psychics are saying compared to the history and how it all matches up.
As if our documentary doesn't go anywhere, we're going to have a lot of cool content hit just as hard.
Hey, that was pretty cool.
Well, you like that intro?
I do. I'm
Actually,
just
provide some
looking
story.
like I'm looking like I didn't realize I give Irene those looks while she's giving readings. I'm like looking at her like, but I guess I do.
And she also makes a lot of funny faces when she's doing the reading, so it's habitual.
She does. She's been told by people that her face changes when she's doing readings. It's almost like she's taking on the facial expressions of the person that she's talking about or the person that she sees. So,
Yep. Okay, so welcome everyone to our new Remnants project exclusive podcast. Tonight we're going to do a round robin interviews of our executive crew members, bringing this project to life. And following this, starting next month, the podcast will begin discussing each of the haunted locations that we have chosen and our filming approach for the first season. So for each person, we're going to talk about their name and crew position, their background in the paranormal, and some of the experiences that stand out, and then any experience with film, video, or content creation, and what interested them to get involved with this project. Danica, you want to get started and talk about you and Irene's experience?
yeah. Are we doing like each question like per person and going around that way? Or are we trying to answer all the questions at one time?
We could probably go around so that it would be easier for everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, what is your name and crew position? Let's go with Danica, Dave, and then Cooper, even though that's opposite of... But
That's okay. My name's Danica McCann. I am not a director of some sort. What am I, JD? I really don't know what I am doing this project. I actually tried to look up like what I Wikipedia'd what the title was, because I was like, man, I really need to know what I'm supposed to do. But yes, please tell me, what am I doing?
yeah, so for right now, you're a producer. A lot of us will end up picking up other titles because that's just how the paranormal works. It is not scripted film industry.
Yeah. So really, I am whatever you need me to do. If you need me to pick up a camera, I'm always down for investigating, reviewing evidence, helping make sure we have enough food to eat. Whatever you need me to do, I'm there for you. And then Irene will be doing the mediumship and also investigating, because she does like to investigate just as much as the mediumship. So
And Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave. So I guess I am producer director. I think that's what we were calling it, something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah, so for you, I was thinking director or technical director. So trying to help me scope out the
Yeah,
work,
that's
all the camera angles and shots and
Yeah.
all of the technical cinematography.
Yes, that's me. Yep, that's what I wanted to do.
Dave, you can also direct me to do whatever you need done. Okay, I'm
Okay, get more
there for
food.
you. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then we have Brian, because I was thinking of Dave and their relationship. Basically, Brian will step in anytime that Dave is unable to be in the field with us and become the director, or become the assistant director when Dave is around, trying to help him out. Okay, Cooper.
Sounds good.
Hi, I'm Cooper. I'm the president of the group. I also don't know exactly the title of my role with this, but I like history. I can do that. I can do camera work.
Dave, did you have something that you wanted to mention before I cut you off?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And then I'm the executive producer, trying to make all of this work and trying to put out the best product, and also trying to fundraise for all of this. Okay, so what is your background with the paranormal, and what are some experiences that stand out for Danica?
So I grew up in a haunted location that had high levels of activity. At the time, I did not really know what was going on, and it frightened me. But as I was getting older, I started realizing, hey, there's something other than us around. So I wanted to find out more about it. I wanted to. I find that people, when they live in a haunted environment, they're either gonna run from it or go towards it. And I was the one that kind of went towards it, and my brother was kind of the one that ran away from it. So, which we have had him on investigations now, getting older. But when we were both young, he was really, really, really scared. So I just wanted to look for answers and try to find out, I know there's something other than us people here. And that's what I started doing. So I actually started investigating on my own and kind of doing some group things and like tagging along places. I ended up joining a well-known group in the area. So I did that for a while, and then ended up starting our own group called Private Eye Paranormal, which is in Northeast Ohio. We do go to people's houses when they have questions, houses and businesses, and try to get answers for them. A lot of times it's just people wanting to know that they're not crazy, which they're not. And well, most of them are not. And, just continuing our learning and continuing learning skills on how to communicate with spirit is a major thing. I'm trying to also learn how to use my intuition more, not just the equipment, so that, I can immerse myself into haunted locations and help get answers for people. So that's what I do.
And then your other half?
Yes, Irene She is a trained microbiologist. She's a scientist. Currently, she teaches as well. She grew up in a Greek Orthodox background, very religious. And so mediumship wasn't really on the table for her, but she has had abilities since she was young and started truly developing those abilities during COVID. And then she has worked towards doing readings for people, and she has a show on transcribing on the Spirit Realm Network. So yeah, she's an amazing medium. She really is. And she's helped me with my abilities as well. So
Yep, or psychic medium with a science background.
yes. Religious science background. So if you take religion, science, and mediumship and put them all together, you get Irene.
Yeah. Dave, do you want to tell us about your paranormal experiences and background?
So about 20 years or so, I ran a group just in the local area, just going around to little local places. Wasn't we didn't really like concentrate on filming or anything like that, or recording anything. Just kind of had like equipment and stuff, and we're just kind of going around the places, exploring places. So I actually lived in a haunted house as well, in the apartment upstairs. The guy who owned it has had the house in his family since, I want to say like the middle of 1800s or so. And there were two of his family members that died in the property. His uncle hung himself in the garage, and his grandmother died in the kitchen when the oven exploded.
Wow.
So there was some, some stuff that he could verify. At least it wasn't like stories and stuff like that. It was actually his family members that died on the premises. So there was a couple of things that happened there that were a little strange. So in order to get in the house or into the apartment, there's a door. It unlocks with a skeleton key. Very old house. Nothing's really been updated in this house. So the first door you unlock with a skeleton key. There's a set of stairs that go up to the apartment, and then there's two doors on both sides. They both go into the apartment, but there's two doors. So you, in order to get into the apartment, you have to go through that downstairs door, and then you have to go through one of the two upstairs doors. It was just a random night that I was sitting in the living room, which is next to one of those two doors. And I just hear somebody running up the stairs. And I'm thinking that, I'm not thinking ghosts at that time. I'm thinking that somebody broke into the house or is trying to break into the house or something. So I let it pass for a couple minutes, and I went down and checked it out. And that downstairs door still locked. The other doors were still locked, so nobody came up. It was just something I really can't explain. It definitely wasn't a person, but it made me think it was a person, which was more scary than really any type of ghost-related stuff. So that happened. But even, I should say, probably even further than that, my first experience I can remember was the house I grew up in. Next door to that, had a family that lived in. The family went out somewhere and came back, and I was waiting for the one kid to come home because I played with them. And so we went into the house after they came home. The mother and father were unloading the car, and the brother was helping them. So me and the sister went in the house to go get something. And we walked in up through the basement into the kitchen, and we're going into the living room, and this chair pushes out. This chair slides out, not that far, maybe like a foot or something, and then we just hear hello in a what I remember at the time was like an older woman's voice. There wasn't any older women that lived there. It was them four. So that's that freaked us out. I grabbed her and we ran out, and we never talked about it after that. But it was definitely something that was the first experience I can remember. The experience I can remember from, most recently, I would say within it was probably like 2005, 2006 or something like that. Was me and my buddy went to explore Elm Lawn Cemetery, which is a cemetery in Buffalo here. And nothing was happening. So we were about to leave, and he was getting annoyed that nothing was happening. Haunted cemeteries in the area. So he was getting annoyed that nothing was going on. So we said we should leave. And he just kind of made that statement like, "This place sucks. We're leaving. We don't want to be here no more. So we're gonna leave." And as he happened to say that, and we're walking away, it just became really windy. Like the wind really kicked up really intensely. And as we're walking through one of the grave areas, we happened to see what I very remember is a basketball-shaped shadow that just kind of popped up in back of one of the stones and then went right back down. Like, for a kid, it was like to, play hide and seek or play hide and seek with a kid and they pop up and then go back down. But it wasn't a kid. It was literally a basketball-shaped shadow that we saw. And we were both kind of taken back by it. So we stood there, stopped where we were, and about another 2 or 3 stones ahead of that stone, the same thing happened. Same shadow popped up. So we decided to go take a look to see what it was. And this happened like 2 or 3 more times. And then it just disappeared. We never saw it again. But it's something that I can vividly remember from happening that we weren't expecting to happen at all. Yeah, so I would say that's probably the highlight of my experience.
Did you say it was the same stone that had the head popping up or different stones?
It was a different one every time. Like,
Okay.
So that first one, and then about 2 or 3 ahead of that one.
Okay.
Again, and then about 2 or 3 ahead of that happened again. And this happened like pass it off. It's like, oh, that was a deer. Like there's no way that was a deer.
Right. No.
A deer doesn't have. Why would a deer do that? But that was the thing that we tried to.
Why would a deer go behind the stone and then come forward? And yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
And you don't see. Yeah, he was just trying, I think, to dismiss it. He was a little scared, more scared than I thought that he wanted to admit. But yeah, that's something I definitely remember.
But that's good that you tried to debunk it.
Yeah, it's something that's never going to leave because it was so on cue that as soon as he said that, right away that wind kicked up, and yeah, it happened, and then I had no idea what it was, really.
Sounds like you really try to take a logical approach and debunk a lot of stuff. So it's a good piece to have. Thought process to have. Cooper, do you want to talk about your paranormal experience?
So I also grew up in a haunted apartment. Trying to think of like what stories to tell because there's a lot of them. But
Yeah.
when I was 3, my little brother passed away, and that's kind of the source of the haunting. My mom always thought because it was very toddler-esque activities, like throwing things and just little tiny footsteps everywhere all the time. And there was this one time I was asleep in my bed. I was maybe 7. I was getting ready for school. And my mom had fallen asleep on the couch because she was having health issues, so she was sleeping on the couch. And in the middle of the night, she swears to God, she saw this small, like, that aged child, like 7-age child, with a white sheet over its head going, boo, like it's messing with her. She automatically thinks it's me because I was 7. That sounds like something I would have done. She goes to my room, goes like, dude, why'd you do that? But I'm fast asleep. And she also can't think of any white sheet to be on in the house. And that was always chalked up to be the little brother. And then also there was a funeral home next door. So we always thought there was energy from that too. My favorite paranormal experience, my mom and I went in Syracuse to this like Erie Canal Museum. I don't remember the exact name of it. I think it was just the Erie Canal Museum.
Probably was.
Yeah. And my mom and I are walking around on the first floor, and we can hear distinctly on the second floor that there's 2 men arguing. And my mom's like, okay, let's avoid that. I think I'm 10 at this point. So she doesn't want me to be around a bunch of angry men upstairs. And the entire first floor is empty. So we're just walking around, kind of slowly pacing, waiting for those men to leave, but they're not leaving. So my mom goes up to the front desk lady and is like, hey, just so you know, there's 2 men very loudly arguing upstairs. And the desk lady's confused, and she's like, oh, I don't think there's any men up there. I think you're the only ones here because it's probably like 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning, I think. And so we go upstairs. No one's up there, but the energy's just bad up there. And my mom has to leave because she's getting the heebie-jeebies. So we go out to the backyard, which has this playground for kids. And it's like a recreation of like a Erie Canal like boat. And there's a bunch of boxes around and stuff, and I'm kind of climbing around, but it feels weird and like tense in my chest. And a few years later, I'm reading this book by some local author, I think it might have been Mason Winfield, about just different places in the area. And one of them was that Erie Canal Museum, and I'm reading about how a lady was murdered upstairs, and there were children buried in the backyard. So my mom and I had both kind of experienced stuff related to what we were closest to, and I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. The place is still on the Haunted History Trail, so
Yeah.
it's well known.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I was a product of paranormal TV. I watched a lot with my mom. I ended up trying to work with it, like trying to experience it. Went to my grandparents' place, ended up finding out that was haunted, probably because my great uncle was a prisoner of war. Later on, I ended up founding the Pioneer Paranormal Society at Alfred State College, which is still active to this day, and I get to work with them from time to time. Then I started NEPI, New Era Paranormal Investigators, with the same goal of trying to get young adults into the paranormal field and get the proper experience, exposure. And me and Cooper are working on that group right now. I also joined Danica and Irene working for Pioneer or for Private Eye Paranormal Society and doing a film series, small independent YouTube series. Along my journey, I've experienced shadow figure apparitions, disembodied voices, kinds of different things. One of my first experiences was a radio turning on by itself and filming with an infrared ultraviolet camera and seeing an orb shoot out of it within minutes of it turning on by itself. Okay, so
JD,
then
I have a
plugged
question. Wait, I have a. Oh yeah, was the radio plugged in?
I don't think so. I don't remember that well.
All right,
Really
JD,
don't
I have a question for you. You said you're a product of the TV paranormal. So when you actually started investigating on your own, did you find it very boring? Like, because a lot of people, when you watch a half-hour show and it was actually a 3-day investigation and they're piling all this like concentrated evidence into a half-hour period, and then people actually go on an investigation and they're like, is this what you do? You just sit here in the dark and listen? Like, so how did you feel about like actually jumping into the investigations?
So my main paranormal series, my favorite show was Mountain Monsters, cryptid show, docudrama. Probably fake, most of it, but
I've never seen that one. I'm gonna have to look it up.
ADHD and really hyperactive, so I started with my younger cousin, at her grandparents' house, just sitting in the dark trying to speak. What was that, Dave? Yeah, he's frozen.
Oh yeah, frozen.
I was going to say that has to be fake. There's no way that all that stuff would happen, and all of a sudden they're standing there, and then this giant cage that they built goes off, and it's got to be fake. It's got to be fake.
I mean, you could see the attraction for a young kid and all
They're definitely
that,
entertaining.
right?
They're definitely entertaining, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really think it was my uncle, the prisoner of war, because that's how he was able to communicate. And the only member of my family that I did not know that well that would have needed to communicate. But no, because I was hyperactive and it was scary and I didn't like the dark, and it was with my cousin, so we were goofing around a decent amount of the time. It was an interesting couple of nights. So what is your background with film or video content creation?
My background, I don't have hardly any background in film. I once I'm on a DVD somewhere wrestling for one show, where I was the deviant sister, and I got thrown like around the ring a little bit. So that's about it. Other than the Private Eye Paranormal series, we've always
And the Canada series.
And the Canada series. We've really always filmed or documented at some point on our investigations, but we've never really put it together as like a full feature. So for me, I have not taken any film classes. I consider myself artistic and creative. So I would like to learn more about the whole procedure of editing and putting things together and making things cohesive. But I definitely don't have a lot of experience doing it.
I will say the one thing with you is that I did do a shot list with you at the Canada location, where we actually listed out each shot that we wanted to have in the film.
Did we get those shots?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know if we got the shots we needed. But yeah, that
The
type of
lake,
thing.
whatever it was there. No, it was a river.
No, I like that. I like okay, first we're going to do this room. We're going to shoot it this way. Like I think it makes it a lot more organized versus like, okay, over here. But you got to have a little bit of leeway with paranormal because, how many times have you been called to an area and then you get there and then all of a sudden you're called back to another area because you're hearing things in different spaces. So, and it's not scripted at all. So there has to be, some leniency and some flow, but also good direction because otherwise you're missing certain rooms that you need to be in or certain people or shots or, the content that you need. So I'm looking forward to learn more about that.
Yeah, the paranormal is not so structured, so it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to try to figure out how to plan for these things ahead of time, or attempt to. Dave, I know you have a lot of experience with film, so do you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So I went to school for broadcasting. I got my degree in broadcasting. I've spent a lot of club. I've been previously contest chairman, secretary, vice president, and president. And I've been going there since 2010. I also was a media producer for a financial company and have had some of the ads I created appear on 90 or 9:30 a.m., which is a radio station in Buffalo. I've also done photography for the Bee. I've had my pictures, sports photography featured in the Bee. And most recently, I've been a video clip editor for station. So I've done a lot of various stuff in still and in video and even podcast. So when you said you were in a wrestling movie, that interested me.
You just cut out
Yeah, we had a
for
wrestling
Yeah.
podcast.
minutes in there.
And yeah,
You cut out for a second when you said, I don't know what you said, but
The wrestling.
do you want me to do it again?
Well, what was the club that you mentioned?
Oh, yeah. So I'll just take. The club is the Buffalo Movie and Video Mirrors. It's actually one of the longest running film groups in the country.
okay.
I want to say they've been around for like 70 years or something like that. So it's been a long time. And I've actually I've previously been the contest chairman, secretary, vice president, and president of the group. So I've done a lot of various things with them. And the other thing I mentioned too is that briefly I had a wrestling podcast. So you mentioned that you were in a wrestling movie. So I have a little bit of experience.
Yeah, it was more like a show. Like my brother's the actual wrestler, but I was just like a part of one of the storylines for a brief moment. So yeah, but he actually is the wrestler. I had to learn how to take a bump, but that was about it. But that's very cool that you had a
yeah.
wrestling
Pretty
podcast.
cool.
You must like wrestling then.
As I used to, but I still watch it. I just don't follow it as much as I used to. But yeah, we did like wrestling news, but it was more like comedy. A lot of comedy type of skits and stuff that I
Oh, yeah.
created to see if I could make these guys crack up during the podcast. You know?
Awesome.
Okay, Cooper, what is your background with film and content creation?
Well, in May, I'll have a bachelor's degree in media production. So that definitely helps. It's a lot of editing. We use Avid here, which I really hate. I mostly use Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm more into writing and stuff because editing is awful if it's an Avid. So do a lot of that stuff. Yeah. I also do like broadcast writing with different groups sometimes, mostly also with wrestling. So we all have that in common, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's, yeah.
And haunted houses.
Haunted houses and wrestling. I mean, what else is there?
That's
I'm
the
just
next
glad
show.
that
A wrestling company lives. They do work in a haunted house.
There's actually quite a few professional wrestlers who are very interested in the paranormal. My brother is telling me, I know Chris Jericho has a podcast. He does some paranormal stuff with that. I know he works with Dave Schrader. But yeah, there's quite a few wrestlers that are interested in the paranormal. So
actually, like Shotzi was doing a thing on WWE YouTube for a minute there.
who was Chris Jericho?
No, Shotzi Blackheart.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm just glad that WWE finally has the same titles for the women as they do for the men.
Yes,
Finally
equality.
even.
Very important.
But as for my background in film, so I've been creating content since I started with my cousin, just videos, putting it out there, getting the reps in, getting an understanding of what I was doing. Then I made content for the club, and I'll probably be helping to. I'll probably be helping their new position that does the social media and everything to learn how to do video editing for the club, so that we can continue to have a successful group and have the community's involvement, the public and the college community. I've created a few higher quality videos for Neppy. One ended up on the Spirit channel, and then the others are just going to be released on YouTube in a higher format, resolution and everything. And then I took an actual certification from New York University for entry-level film and television production, so that I could have a better understanding of every piece involved with it. And so I made a short film there, and I'll probably end up making a couple more along the way.
Very cool.
And that course really did help me to try to figure out how to handle all this and make the best product. Okay, so Danica and Irene, what got you guys interested in getting involved with this project, the Remnants project?
Well, first and foremost, we loved working with you with the Private Eye Paranormal. So, when you asked us to come aboard, we were like, absolutely, because we love to investigate and we like investigating with you, JD. And also, I think it's a unique take on history to learn about the written history and then maybe the unwritten history and how they coincide. So a lot of times whatever's in the history books and the stories told might not match what's actually happening in a space. So I like to see both sides of things. And I think Irene, she tends to see things differently. As spirit comes to her, and they sometimes will tell her, no, that's not what happened. This is what actually happened. So things like that always, they just spark an interest in me, because how many times have we heard somebody tell us something and then we go back and it's something completely different? So, and it's all about getting the truth to things. And as much as you can, find truth in a book, you could find truth in other places too.
Yep, because history is only ran through one perspective most of the time. Okay, Dave, what got you interested in helping me with this project?
I gotta be honest with you. This is a tough question. I've really been thinking about this. This is a tough question, but I would have to say that I enjoy the unexplained stuff. Like one of the shows that I actually put on DVR, but actually watch, is Expedition X. Yeah. I like that show a lot, because it doesn't even have to be about like ghost paranormal stuff. It's also like about, creatures that they're searching for, that they think exist, that nobody can really say if they exist or not. And I'm actually really close to Niagara Falls. So the episode that they did in Niagara Falls was interesting as well too. But I gotta say, it's even more that along those lines of that type of show. It doesn't even have to be ghost related. It's just unknown related, and also combined with the fact that I just like creating media. I guess that sounds kind of lame saying that, but it's true that I'm just interested in creating media stuff. So it's kind of the both of these things put together is really what I would say is the most interesting.
Yeah, that's not lame at all, because no, it's not lame. I just really like investigating, but I never really thought about the process of, putting that together. And then you it's not lame. To want to create something and call it your own is not lame at all.
Okay.
Cooper, how do you want to follow up? What was your interest in getting involved with the project?
Well, first off, you asked me, and I'm always up for anything with you, or really anyone in the New Era group or Private Eye group or anything. So that was
That's
a big
true.
part
I
of
got
it.
asked as well. Put that in there. I got
Yeah.
asked as well.
Yeah. Second off, I've always wanted to make a paranormal documentary. I was also very much into the paranormal shows when I was younger. And that's why I'm in media production and why I'm here. So yeah, and I also really love history. So
Well, it makes me feel pretty good that if I, well, the fact that I asked Danica and Cooper and they were right on board immediately to help me out, try to make this vision come true. But my question for this would be, why do I feel that this project is important? So for me, it allows a different avenue of the paranormal. Look at the paranormal and it has to be scary. It has to be about demons and everything else. And Zach Bagans has cleaned out paranormal content on cable TV. His show is the only one that's still out there besides Expedition X. So it's time for a different approach and a different view of the paranormal to come about and allow for people to explore the paranormal in a positive aspect and focus more on the history that we interact with directly when we're conducting these investigations. Also, if we're able to get actual evidence as far as a historical event that was not documented properly, or there was another opinion or view of something that happened that was missed, that can be applied to a lot of different historical events, people, places, and things. So this project could really expand pretty far if given the right community support, and it could provide opportunities for others to grow into the spots that help the paranormal to grow and prosper in a way that's more approachable for more people. The Underground Railroad itself is a great starting point because it is one of the major events that does not have much documentation behind it. But if we're able to get documentation of something that wasn't documented, then shows that this theory, this idea behind the documentary is achievable. And it could go anywhere.
Hey, JD.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. The apartment that I was telling you about with something running up the stairs is actually down the street from a bar, a connection under.
What is the name of the bar then? Is it still in
I
Buffalo?
don't remember. It's in Lockport.
Lockport. It's a place I know well.
It's called Summit Street or Summit Road. I don't know, it's Summit, but it's that one street there. There's that house, and then at the other end of it is where the bar is. I don't know if the bar is even still open, but I know that there was there's a connection to the Underground Railroad in the basement.
I'll have to look and see if I can dig anything up.
Mm-hmm. the house actually across the street is supposedly very haunted as well too. It's a mansion.
Was it with a brick road or? I'm just curious. Did it have a brick road? Because there is a famous house out there in the village.
Road. I don't remember it. I don't remember Brick Road. I think it was gravel. Yeah.
Well, it's something to look into.
Yeah. Yep. The fifth location for our series is pretty well up in the air right now, so I mean, it's worth looking into. Anybody else got anything to mention about their backgrounds or this project for this podcast?
Not at this time. I'm just excited to work with everybody and learn as much as I can and contribute as much as I can to make it a success.
Okay. Okay, so we have a new watch party January 7th for the Canada documentary that we worked on with SIPA Canada. And we have a few of their members going to join us for that. And thanks everyone for joining us for this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for putting it together, JD.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
We're going directly to the source for talking into the first person, which is how a lot of history is written.
Well, it's definitely going to have the community touch. Because we're doing it the right way.
He cries.
There's a skinnier black male than the man with the beard that I think is George. He's like around her, like it's almost like he has his arms on his hands on her shoulders.
He's so scared. I like the mix between the history and the investigation, because you can kind of see what the psychics are saying compared to the history and how it all matches up.
If our documentary doesn't go anywhere, we're going to have a lot of cool content hit just as hard.